with my
Really? I
wife.
remember there was a really, really buff dude. Because
Yeah.
I got a clip of it. Yeah, he was fun.
Where was that at?
That was here. I think that was during COVID. I came
Okay, okay. The
because
one,
I've definitely been here a couple times, I think.
yeah, yeah. I remember though. That was cool. That was cool that they did that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first time I saw you, it was at Pioneer,
Oh,
and you
okay.
ripped into me,
Oh,
and it was six
interesting.
people in
Oh,
the car, and you fucking killed it. It was so funny, and it was I can't. You know who it was? It was the Donald Trump impersonator cat.
oh God.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I cannot remember that cat. It was
Mm-hmm.
and he does a
I
bunch
can't
of
even
different
remember his
ones.
name. Yeah.
He did a bunch of different.
Yeah, he would stay in character.
He would. I
Yeah.
know that guy.
Yeah, yeah. It was
He's the one that
funny.
gave me tickets.
Really, that's
Yeah, I know
funny.
that guy
I
from.
can't remember his name. He's a real nice dude.
I know him
But
from.
he loved doing that Donald Trump thing. It was
Yeah, he did.
so funny.
Yeah, he did it.
And people loved it, so whatever.
What was another one? Astro was the other one. Do you remember that?
Mm-mm.
It was like a gay salon guy.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah.
do remember
He
that now.
did, and
Yeah,
he
yeah,
did that
yeah.
everywhere, and that's who I thought he was.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then he just like talked to me normal one day. And I was like,
And sometimes he would like they would bleed into each other. He'd be doing Astro and he'd get kind of Trumpy and it'd be really funny.
that's
Like, but he
funny.
didn't mean to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was like, you're kind of being a faggoty Trump right now. We would laugh at it. And he was like, I can't decipher the two.
What's
So
funny is
yeah, it was
that
funny.
dude's was stone cold sober,
Yeah,
like 10 years sober.
that's so funny.
Yeah, that's how I know him.
Is he from like Gardner? I don't know why. Maybe I'm just assuming.
I just
I
know him
thought
from an
like
anonymous
recovery and stuff.
fellowship.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
I think he
So
told me that because I'm sober, and I think he may have told me at one
you
point.
are?
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
sober? How
yeah.
long have you been sober?
Almost 2.5 years. Yeah.
So you did obviously did comedy
Yeah,
partying.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been doing comedy for like 7 years, almost 7 years now. Yeah, I used to drink a lot when I was first started doing comedy. And then I think I did a good job though. Like in the very beginning, I only had one night where I got like way too drunk and I was such a new comic.
Yeah,
I was doing like 15 minutes and I had no business doing that much time
got it.
that early on. And just where like I didn't remember anything, any of my jokes. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is embarrassing. I can't do that again. But yeah, I always used to drink right before I went on stage and have
So
a
does it
drink.
help or is it better sober? I feel or is your connection to the audience a little
I
easier?
mean, I think for me it's better sober. Because also when I'm using substances, there's no moderation. So for me, if some people can work that way and they're probably more funny or maybe they're better or they feel better. But for me, it was always I was more stressed out about me messing something up or me because I also do so much crowd work. Like
Yeah.
if I go off the rails a little bit too hard, that could be a problem, right? So
Mm.
yeah, for me, I think it's always been better sober. So luckily, it was never like a huge problem comedy wise.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, like I
yeah.
was saying, I saw you do crowd work for the first time ever, but like when I first got sober,
Mhm.
I like needed cool things to do that didn't
Right,
require
right,
drinking. So it was
right.
like a lot of Pioneer, it was a lot of the Laugh Factory, and it was a lot of
Yeah,
things like
yeah.
that. And you get to see a lot of cool local comedians. But you were the first one that I was like, if your set was over and there's like, not a huge crowd, you're just like, all right, what's up with that dude's shoes? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a lot
So
of times when there's not very many people, I will do crowd work. And other people are the opposite. They're like, no, I'm running through material. And I'm like, there's 4 people. Like, why am I doing that?
totally.
So for me, it's more of like a fuck around type thing because and there's times where like I get a reaction on jokes, but I'm also just kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to get any feedback enough to where I'm just going to like run through material. I might as well have fun with it.
Totally.
And maybe I'll get something out of it,
Yeah.
that can then become a joke or I
Yeah.
can tag onto something. So,
Well, it worked because like there's a lot of comedians locally, and you're the only one my wife remembers for sure. You know what I mean?
well, that's
Remember
good.
Sarah
That's
that one
nice.
time? You know what I
That's
mean?
nice.
So
I
that
get
was
that a
cool.
lot. I try not to overdo it, but
Yeah,
it's hard sometimes, especially I think now because crowd work is just viewed as like this thing that all comics do and to put online. And,
it is.
I have times like if I'm in clubs and stuff where it's like I know I can't do crowd work or I have to do minimal or maybe you have a headliner. I've had headliners before who are like, don't do a lot of crowd work. Like that's my thing. Or, they don't
Okay.
want you to do it. So I'll taper it down based on the situation. But sometimes I have too much fun or an audience member is too much. Like they keep it going. And I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, I had so much stuff I wanted to get through. And then
Totally.
I don't get through it because I spent all this time messing around.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm working on a balance. But yeah, no, I have a lot of fun with it.
Have you've been touring? It's been cut. Yeah, because the
Yeah.
last couple of times we tried to get you on, you were like, I'm on the road.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah, I'm out of town a lot. So
And
it's pretty
where
good.
you hit? Where are you going?
I mean, I'm in California a lot. I spend pretty much part time in the Bay Area anyway with my wife. My
Cool.
wife's a comic
Cool.
in the Bay Area, so we go back and forth basically. So a lot of my time's down there. You know, in Northern California, a lot of places there. I do the Don't Tell shows. I'm a producer for Reno and Tahoe.
Cool.
But they have those all over, so we can do those wherever. Festivals, you know, stuff like that. Just pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you've done a
everywhere.
couple of podcasts, haven't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been on a podcast in a minute, but yeah, I've done a good amount of podcasting
Yeah.
and I have some jokes on Sirius XM right now. If you're
Yeah.
90 and you have Sirius XM in your car, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
when you can hear it, but I've never heard it. But those are streaming, so
Yeah.
yeah. I opened for Ari Shafir recently. That was
Damn, what
fun.
was that like?
It was really cool. I mean, it was the
Here?
most at Bolly's at South Lake.
Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, it was like 800 people, so it was definitely like the biggest crowd. Yeah, but it was really fun. It was uh not I didn't really know what to expect, you know, because he's so like he has such a specific audience, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was really
He's
fun.
like
He
the
was
dirtiest
so
cat I
cool.
know.
He was so cool, and
Yeah.
his new hour was so like not controversial, not crazy, like which I love Ari as a comic. You know, it doesn't matter, but I was just like he's so cool. He's so chill.
Yeah.
Like he was so rad. He like offered us his suite and he tipped me really well and he was just really fucking cool.
That's
So
real.
yeah, that was a fun one. So
Is that
yeah,
your
I've had a
biggest
good
one yet?
pretty yeah, I would say that's probably the biggest. I'd done like 400 seaters, theaters, clubs, but yeah, that was like weird because it's such a big room and it's not meant for comedy specifically. It's a music venue, you know?
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, it was definitely a little bit intimidating, but yeah, it was cool.
Ari's that's one of my favorites for sure. And just because
Yeah.
he's coming up quick too, but
Yeah, he
that
was so rad.
he's done some crazy stuff.
Oh, I know.
When you write, are you writing? How do you write? Could you come up with it in your head? How is your process of coming up with jokes
Honestly,
like that?
I kind of write on stage.
You do?
Like, yeah. So like I'll have like a premise and then I'll kind of just like riff it on stage. I try to sandwich it in the middle of some stuff depends on the show too. If I'm just fucking around, like then whatever, I'll really like try to maybe write something out and fuck around with it. But if I have an opportunity like it's a good show or I have like a good crowd, good amount of people, it's a hot room, then I'll try to just kind of tinker with it and play around with the premise, maybe like a line or two, and kind of see what I get from it, and then kind of build off of it from there.
Yeah.
I've never been somebody who like can sit down and just write in a notepad all day.
Totally.
I think it's also partially because I was like writing growing up. I went to school for journalism, so
Yeah.
it's like when I was first writing jokes, everything was so wordy. It
Got
was
it.
like paragraphs. Like I could not. I had to figure out how to trim the fat, and so I think writing that way on stage has helped me a lot.
Gotcha.
I try to remember to record like a voice memo when I'm on stage so that I can go back to it. I forget a lot, and then I'm like, how did that go? That worked really well. So like I'll come up with new tags on stage, but yeah, a lot of it I just do, you know, during shows, or I'll have a premise and I'll bounce that idea, you know, off some friends, off my wife, like
Yeah.
just kind of see if it's even worth it, you know, and kind of go from there, or see if it's something that's like already being done or been done, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, just kind of in the moment.
Yeah. Listening to yourself recording sucks.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
like
it's
the
horrible.
hardest,
It's brutal.
most important thing to do,
Yeah.
but it sucks, dude. That's the worst.
Yeah,
I hate
it's
listening
brutal.
to myself and then like having to edit it, but I know it makes me better. Like I say I like find myself saying stupid
Yeah,
shit and
yeah.
I'm just like, man, I say that a lot. So
Yeah.
but like recording, that's how I know people are like really trying to master whatever craft it is, whether it's comedy, whatever it is.
Yeah, any kind of public speaking.
Yeah.
It's gonna be painful, but
It's
if
so
you watch it back or listen to it,
Yeah.
it will
makes
change
you
things.
better.
You'll be like,
Yeah.
this is embarrassing. I have to change this.
Yeah. Are you
100%.
from Reno?
I'm from Reno. Yeah.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to McQueen.
You're a McQueen kid?
I'm a
I'm a
McQueen
McQueen kid.
Are you?
I am.
Damn.
What year did you graduate?
Oh, wait.
I was 2011.
Okay.
Yeah. So where'd you go to middle school?
Clayton.
I went to Clayton, dude.
No way.
Swear to
bro.
God. Yeah. You're just 2 years
I'm a
older
little
than me.
older. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. Did you go to
That's
Elmcrest or?
Elmcrest, yeah.
Me too. That's fucking crazy. I went to Mamie
That's
Tolls a
wild.
little bit and
Yeah?
Elmcrest.
Oh, that's fun.
That's way cool. So
That's so cool.
were you what did you do in in high school, what was your thing? Was it music? Was it
I played basketball. So I played
badass?
basketball in college too. So I was like, I think I was like kind of a misfit though. Like I was friends with like all the scene kids. I was like really into music, so I was really into like the hardcore scene and like pop punk and stuff. And then, but I also was like, oh, I got to go to basketball. And so I think that was part of this like identity crisis for majority of
Love
my
that.
life. You know what I mean? Where
I
it was
love
like I
that.
would party really hard and do all this, and I'd be like, no, I have to get up and go run and shoot
Yeah,
500 shots,
for
and I
sure.
have to go to college, you know, and all that. So
So you weren't smoking
yeah,
drugs?
no, I smoked weed like throughout. I started smoking weed pretty young and drinking really young, but
Yeah,
I was able to. I've always been able to be very functional.
totally.
So I was still able to have like basketball tournaments every other weekend and go to practice and like do school. I didn't really care about school that much or
Totally.
like it, but
Yeah.
yeah, and I was friends with like all over the place, like different crews of people and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Yeah, I
yeah,
was all my friends were in hardcore. It's crazy because I'm in a motorcycle club now,
yeah,
and my motorcycle club dudes are all hardcore dudes.
really,
And I
that's
was
cool.
a jazz piano player
Oh,
at one
that's
point.
fun.
So yeah, and in the band, the whole deal, like
That's so
totally
cool.
different. So I was never a hardcore kid, but a lot of those dudes,
You could like
you know,
get crazy on a keyboard.
I could play.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah. I
cool.
used to live under Oath, and I just remember seeing that
Okay,
dude just
so
like pick up his fucking keyboard, and I was
yep,
like, "This goes so hard. This is so
some of
cool."
the
I'm
hardcore with the
just like,
piano was
yeah,
tight.
yeah, like
Yeah,
classical musicians. That's so
it
rad.
is cool, and I definitely can relate to your identity crisis.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
there was definitely I wasn't that, and I'm okay being that not that now. But
yeah,
we're gonna start doing hardcore shows here and do that
yeah. Are you
whole
in a
thing.
band now?
I play still jazz piano.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
and so if there's any
That's
people my age that want to play Thelonious Monk covers, hit me
you
up. You
guys
know what I
should.
mean?
You should have like battle of the bands with the motorcycle
Damn,
clubs.
there was
Do the clubs have bands?
no, so one of the dudes in the Henchmen has a band, and there's a couple of bands throughout that kind of have dudes from other clubs.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That'd be cool.
That's fun.
Or just like tug of war or something. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
Just
That'd
who's
be
the
fun.
that's always the gonna be the debate is who's the toughest one, right? You know what I
Are
mean?
there like there's like sister clubs, right? Like there's
Like support
like
clubs.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're cool. Is there like how do you know if someone's a support club or not? Like if you're cool.
It's most of the time it's what color they're wearing.
Okay.
And really there's only a few clubs around here that have support clubs. The rest of them all just are independent or
Interesting.
just support one another, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But the term support club is really just a club that is like is you know like a similar franchise, I guess you could say. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Okay.
So
I remember when we did the roast at the Hinchman's and like we walked in and all these guys stopped us immediately and they
yeah,
were like, whoa, 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 like and frisked us down. And I remember my mom was like very nervous. I told you my grandpa was in clubs
so
and
he was a biker.
yes,
Gotcha.
yes, yes. Yeah. He I don't know, maybe you can teach me stuff about it because I've been trying to figure it out. But he was like Hell's Angel associate. In the middle of the night in New Orleans, somebody burned down their house
Fuck yeah.
and they drove to Winnemucca. My mom was in high school and they just started living in Winnemucca. Like literally woke up, grab your shit, they're burning down the trailer, moved to Winnemucca. And then he was one of the like OG guys for the Branded Few.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And yeah, which is funny. Like nowadays, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Like,
because you
see a
see
lot
all
of,
that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And my mom and I will talk about it. And she's like, I don't remember that ever being like, there was no stuff like no swastikas, nothing on his stuff. And we like laugh about it. But
Yeah.
I remember when I told her I was doing, she's like, I don't know, you're going to their clubhouse, you know, because she's older. It's
Yeah.
like so taboo to her.
Yeah.
And I was like,
It's crazy
you
what you
know,
remember as a kid.
yeah, yeah. And I'm sure what she remembers is probably,
So he went to Winnemucca and
crazy.
then joined Branded Few?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
nuts. So what's crazy about that is, from what I understand, and I could totally be wrong, and I don't know for sure, but from what I was always told is that's a World War II, um, like that they had their origins from all the way back from World War II.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
That's
like,
kind of what I've heard too.
and it's like
Yeah.
not what you think,
Yeah.
but it's like when people would bring back tokens from Vietnam,
Hmm.
it's like they would bring back Vietnamese flags, right?
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
they would bring back World War II. They would come back and they'd bring that
Hmm.
symbolism back with them, like they'd kill a SS Gestapo
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something, and they would keep his pin.
Yeah.
And that's where those SS bolts came
Yeah.
from into biker
Yeah.
culture, is because it was literally a
Yeah.
token of we fought those guys,
Yeah.
killed those guys, and now we have their pins on
Which
their
makes
chest.
sense. My grandpa also
know?
had a lot of NASCAR stuff. So I'm like, the guy
Gotcha.
likes trinkets.
He's a trinket cat.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like, well, he's dead now, but I remember
Yeah.
seeing from Winnemucca, they ended up going to Tennessee, and that's where they lived until he died. And yeah, I remember going to I spent very little time with him, but I remember going to their house and just being like, I didn't know you could have so much Jeff Gordon stuff. Like,
Man, he's a Jeff Gordon fan too.
yeah. So when you say that, it's like, I'm like, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
He was a collectibles guy.
And
That's
you're
what
in
it is.
and the Bay Area. That's like really where the biker culture took off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a
huh?
lot. That's like
cool.
That's really like the biker hub.
Which is so cool and so
Yeah.
funny because like where our studio is, where my wife lives most of the time, is just like the center of like Google. And
Oh,
it's
really?
just like people who can't drive. Yeah, it's just
It's
terrible.
rough.
Yeah.
And being in Nevada,
Yeah.
having to
yeah,
live in-
yeah. She fucking
damn.
hates it. So we obviously there's so much more comedy there, right? But
oh, that's
we have
true,
like
isn't it?
so that's part of the reason, why we split time, but we have kind of the best of both worlds because like I live in Verdi in the woods basically, like up off Dog Valley.
Badass.
And so yeah, we like come here and because she like loses her mind every day down there because it's insane,
and then she can go eat at the Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I can't believe I have to go back to the Bay Area. This is terrible, And she's like from there and it's just gotten so much worse and stuff. But yeah, so it's so funny to like remember that,
Has it gotten worse there, or is it cleaned up? Everybody that's been going there is saying it's no.
I don't think so. Like I don't know. I've had my car broken into several times,
Fuck
like
yeah.
in Oakland,
Yeah.
for shows and stuff. But like seeing it, I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't seem any different than deep 4th Street sometimes. I'm sure it has its nights and shit, and I know they have some incidents, but I don't know. Is it worse? I don't think I could say because I don't think I spent enough time down there
Yeah.
when I was younger to see like how much it's changed. But,
Yeah. Well, something I was talking to another comedian about is Reno is in that weird phase where we can't get really, really big acts here because we're not big enough and we don't necessarily have the venue space. Is that true? Am I hearing that right?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have like a club. You have Laugh Factory, but like it's not like any of us are going to Laugh Factory and the crowds are, once in a while like Laugh Factory will get good headliners, but for the most part it's a lot of casino acts and you get a lot of tourists who are on like comped tickets and stuff, right?
Oh.
So it's not like the most fun shows, I mean, in my opinion, but you don't have a club anymore. I think there's something new in South Lake now or some part of the lake, but
they have
they have a new so like during COVID they had an improv, like the improv from like Hollywood Improv and all that, like
and
an
that
actual
was at
improv.
Harvey's, right?
And then that didn't open back up after COVID. So I think the issue is you don't have like that happy medium spot where like if you're doing comedy in Reno, you're doing like the Grand Sierra or like the Event Center or something. You're like a Tom Segura or something like that that's coming through, right?
Right.
As opposed to, some of these other spots where you have these like 150, 400 cap rooms where you can get really fucking good comics, but they're not filling, the Atlantis or the Grand Sierra or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of in a weird spot because of that, I think. So, I mean, we get really good comics that come through for us for Don't Tell. We try to budget, to take care of people. We get comics with, really good credits who are on late night and all this stuff. But I think the age of comedy in like the digital world also, like Don't Tell alone is kind of like taken over for like Comedy Central in a way.
Okay.
Where, you could just have like a couple minutes. They do these like 15-minute sets and your set could go viral. And, I know comics who have like quit their job within 2 weeks and
That's crazy.
have an agent. Yeah. And
like
changes, so.
and just did a set.
Yeah, just
That's
from one
crazy.
of their sets, going viral. Because there's so much good comedy and like weird pockets, and like little communities and stuff that people don't know about. I mean, I've toured through like Idaho and Montana, and I had like some of my best shows and most fun ever in Montana. Just like such good comics, such good crowds. Like the shows were so fun.
Yeah.
stuff like that where you don't necessarily
Yeah.
get out and see those places. So I think the other thing that can be hard is so many of our options are like casinos, and even around like outside of, like Sacramento and San Francisco, you have casinos. Like I've done casino shows in Redding, of some of those little areas too, where
Yeah.
like casino shows are just kind of rough. They're like a different breed, right?
Yeah.
And so like Vegas comedy is very different
Well,
than
they're
comedy
coming to
everywhere
listen
else,
to
right?
you in some places, right? And some
Yeah.
of them, they're like,
And some of them are
they're
like,
just
we
coming
don't
to
know.
see
We're
comedy.
coming, but we don't know what
Right.
to expect. And a lot of times they're older if you're at a
That.
casino. So
Yeah.
you have that, working against you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that goes into a casino comedy. Not so fun, pays well, but, so I think that's kind of Reno's thing is like, it can be very oversaturated.
I don't know about you guys, but if you have ever been down on your motorcycle, gotten hit, somebody had no insurance, anything like that, you feel like there's nobody around to help you out. But Law Tigers Motorcycle Attorneys is the way to go. You need to get these guys, just save them in your phone if you have to. Law Tigers is there to help bikers. It's bikers for bikers. These guys ride motorcycles and they will take care of you. They're personally handling claims and will be the biggest advocate for anybody on two wheels. Check out Law Tigers Motorcycle Attorneys and a sponsor of 4th Street Live. Thanks so much. This is Jacob, the host of the 4th Street Live podcast, and my new book, The Rail Runner, inspired by my life on the railroad and being a railroad contractor, is now for sale on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Please go check out my new story if you're looking to escape reality for a few hours. It's a great read. Support a local Reno author. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
And I think also like people come out to comedy, or maybe it's like a mic or something like that. And those things are vital, and you have to have all the mics and you have to have all the options for the stage time and stuff. But the crowds like go out to those and they're like, this is not good.
Yeah.
And then they don't come out to other stuff, So
Yeah.
like with Don't Tell, we can see people who are like repeat customers who are coming out all the time because
That's
our
good.
our like model is it's secret. We hold shows basically in places. The goal is to be in a spot that doesn't normally do comedy or like music or a live event, to make it kind of weird and to be able to do like BYOB and just make it a different experience. So
That's
we've done
fucking
comedy
cool.
like indoor skate parks, tattoo parlors, yoga studios, like any backyards, anything like that.
Yeah.
And then we also will do it at places, we've done bars. We do places that are selling alcohol and food too. So basically it tells you a little bit. It tells you the neighborhood that it's in. Like, is it in Sparks? Is it in Midtown, downtown, Northwest Reno, like Stead, wherever we're doing it?
Yeah.
And then Truckee and Lake Tahoe, it gives you pretty good detail on like the zip code basically that you're going to. And then it
Yeah.
tells you, is it indoor, outdoor? Is it BYOB? Are you buying alcohol there? Like, what are the rules type thing?
Yeah.
And then the day of the show, it reveals the address to you. So we're pretty lucky because we have that like machine behind us to handle all of the marketing and to handle all of that stuff. We do a lot like locally still, but I mean, we have constantly new people coming who probably otherwise wouldn't go see comedy or don't know where to go see comedy.
So with that, are you, how do people follow? Are they allowed to come pop up wherever you're going to do that?
Yeah.
Or is it whoever's
if we're
just
not
there?
sold out, yeah. If we're not sold out, they can pop up. But like our lineups are always secret till the day of. We book those out. For the most part, we always have a national headliner coming in. Typically we have like 2 comics, including the headliner from out of town.
Yeah.
And then we have some local comics that will rotate filling the lineups. And then most people are just seeing them from ads. The ads are very targeted, very specific to reel people in. And then we have like a good crew of people who are kind of like repeat customers who are coming out all the time.
Yeah.
Which is good. Yeah. So it's fun. It's, I think, a good opportunity for people to experience comedy in a different way too. Like they don't have to go to a club and it's like a 2-drink minimum and like all of this, or they don't have to go to a casino. And they have the opportunity to see, I think, younger comics and comics who they normally wouldn't see from other places. Like we have some badass comics that come in from, just like Sacramento and San Francisco area alone. And then we have some really great bigger comics who come in from LA, Vegas. So we have a pretty good draw. Yeah.
You've got a unique take on something that I've been thinking about today, and it's the cancel culture that's
Mm-hmm.
prevalent and largely because of our generation. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It's like we love to be fucking offended about shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that the first attack is always with comedians, and it's so funny
Mhm.
because it's a joke. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's never
Yeah.
been. But I've even caught my mom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, do you hear what that guy said? And I said that was fucking
Mhm.
hilarious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just about whatever.
Yeah.
And you have a different take on it because you're a comedian,
Mhm.
and you also might be offended about things that people are saying. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's your stance on
I
cancel
think
culture and a
there's
comedian? You know what I mean?
I think there's such a different I think when you're a comic, there's like a huge difference between like really punching down
Yeah.
in a way that is not like you're not making a point. I think you can be extremely funny. Like there's so many like rape jokes that I've heard that are just stupid.
Yeah.
And so it's not even like like I can't stand this guy. This rape joke sucks because it's a rape joke. It's because it's not funny.
Right.
And then there's a way to make a point and it, be like one of the funniest jokes you've ever heard.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of where it gets lost a little bit. I don't really think that cancel culture like within comedians is really a thing. I think it's just not very funny. And
I understand.
like
So you're
I
digging your own
don't
grave.
yeah, even with like and I've experienced it on both ends. Like I did a show recently I opened for this guy who's like this guy Steve Hofstetter, who's not like my cup of tea, but he's extremely, extremely like left.
He's the one that is always he's the one that's always doing the videos afterwards about hecklers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like if you just had like the
It's like,
most
bro, that guy's got some thin skin.
if you had like the most like wokest dad on Facebook, that's this like just imagine your dad on
I don't like any
Facebook
of
like
that.
being so annoying.
I don't like
then
it either
imagine
way.
that your
Yeah.
dad's like out there marching for like oppressed people and then he's on Facebook like talking about
Yeah.
just like that's the energy,
Yeah, okay.
Very nice guy. His crowd very nice. I'm very appreciative of the opportunity, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But even for me, I had a really hard time with his crowd and I'm the one who's up there like talking about being the gay person, saying something about that and
Yeah.
it's like almost like they're upset for me and I'm like
Yeah.
no, we can do, and I've had it on like both ends, but that was the first time I've ever experienced that to where I was just like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, why are we, that
We
kind
can
of thing.
just get up here and tell
And he
jokes.
like gave me a buffer before where he was like, just so you know, my crowds are very this way. And if
Yeah.
you go off of that, you are not going to do well. And I was just kind of like, why are you telling me that? Dude? Like, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh shit. Like, there's times when I'm in San Francisco and I get like a little apprehensive because I'll be like, I'm really like a Reno comic. Like I'll feel uncomfortable because I am that I'm not like I don't want to say like woke enough, but for lack of better words, like that's kind of the vibe. I'll get that sometimes. My wife and I laugh about it because she's from San Jose, and we always compare San Jose and Reno a lot.
Yeah.
And she has kind of the same vibe. She's like a little bit more edgy, a little bit more like vulgar, so funny, like passed at every club down there and the Improv and all this stuff. And she is just like, no, you'll understand. Like we're performing in Berkeley. Like you'll get it,
Oh.
And so it's stuff like that where
Yeah.
I hadn't really experienced a lot of that until as of late where I'm like, they're tight. Like I did that show for Steve and I was just like, not into it. I was like, that was not fun. I did not have much fun.
Yeah.
And I remember at the time the booker was like, he was like, would you want to do some dates with him? And I was like, I mean, he's huge. He has millions of followers.
Yeah.
But I was like, nah, I did not have very much fun
Got
doing
it.
that.
Yeah.
And I had also heard,
Good for you
I
to
have
not
heard
chase the
from-
followers too. You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah, that's
and
rad.
It was just funny because I was like, you would think this would be my moment. Like these would be my people. And I had heard, and I don't feel bad saying this because I have heard from so many people who I trust and I really feel strongly that this is true. But I had heard years ago, because I had opened for him at the Pioneer forever ago, but I had heard that like the one video that blew him up, that went really viral was a planted heckler. So it was staged. Yeah. And I had heard that from a lot of people.
Got it.
And so I kind of
So
had
he
this
planned
like,
it.
Oh
And it went
man.
super viral. I can't even remember what it was, but
Gotcha.
it's out there. It's like his most popular like
Yeah.
heckler video ever from years ago. But yeah, I had heard that from a lot of people. So
Yeah.
I was kind of, when I agreed to it, I was like, I know he's gonna sell out probably. I know it'll like
Yeah.
let's see what this is. Yeah, because I had opened for him so long ago,
Yeah.
you know, and it's yeah, it was definitely an experience
You
that I
guys have
probably wouldn't
a
repeat.
thing in your brain that is just so quick. Like I wouldn't even like I don't know how to respond that fast to anything.
Yeah.
And I don't know what comedians get it from. I don't know if it's nature or nurture or both, but like you guys
No.
have like a defense mechanism that is just like it's just
Yeah.
it's just normal people don't have it. You know what I
I
mean?
think my parents are pretty funny. I think maybe it could also be like an athlete thing. When I think
totally
back to
could.
it, I think about like playing basketball and just kind of like talking shit,
Yeah.
you know, and having to like be quick and stuff. But I also know some comics who are really bad at crowd work and
Totally.
they don't touch it and they're not quick like that, you know, but they're such good joke writers and
Yeah.
you know different stuff. So I think it's definitely a balance because I think there's the idea, you know, like we are saying earlier with a lot of like crowd work clips going viral and stuff. There's this idea that it's like a crutch and that you're not
Yeah.
a comic, you're not as good of a comic. It's like thinking that you don't have material, and it's like I'm not filling the time due to a lack of material. I just especially if I'm having a hard time, if a crowd's not like super engaged, or like bar shows are a prime example. I think part of the reason why my crowd work is as strong as it is from coming up in Reno, because every show was like at a bar.
Yep.
And everyone was loud as fuck, and you'd have people like huddled in the back of the room, and just so I would like walk over with the mic to where people were, and I found that sometimes I had to do things like that, so it became this like natural like muscle that I was able to flex all the time, because I was like, I'm not going to just shout over people.
Yeah.
I'm like try to tell these punchlines no one can hear me.
Totally.
And it was a way that I would get people to shut the fuck up,
Yeah, that's real.
you know, to
Yeah.
have like those interactions with them, and then I could tell material. So it's just a balance of like, sometimes I just have to remind myself, like, you're in a club, people paid money to watch. You don't have to go there. You don't have to do that. You
That's
know?
real. That's real.
Yeah. So it's definitely a line.
Yeah.
I'm
I also think
teetering
comedy is an
learning.
important tool because it starts conversations in an easier way for people to palate that
Yeah.
maybe not been able to
100%.
like if I'm sitting up here talking about, you know, my dumb 31-year-old take on the fucking world, it's
Right.
nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
But if you sit here and make it funny and you talk about jokes, it makes you think about things in a way that
100%. Yeah.
nobody else would have like
Yeah.
even considered or thought, or just like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Things that might
Yeah.
be taboo, you can talk about in a laughing way, and it starts cool conversations.
Yeah. It makes it easier. I think it makes it more for people to be able to laugh at themselves too, and to be able to like acknowledge certain things that they know to be true. Like I'll have a lot of fun in like rural areas a lot too. Like when I went through
I bet.
Montana, we had like the best time. I've always had a really good time in like Gardnerville and like
Yeah.
the Fallons of the world, you know,
Ah.
places like that, where normally you're like, ooh, I don't know if she would do well there. I've had that a lot with bookers too, where they're like, ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna send you to, you know, this place, like,
Send.
you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, these people actually really enjoy that.
Yeah.
Like they don't, you know. It was like the biker roast thing where my
Yeah.
buddy Steven and I were writing for it, and we were like, how far do you think we can push this?
Yeah.
With a lot
So
of
what were
the
you saying? I'm
things.
curious. We won't say his name, but he's my friend and I love him.
I'm trying to think. I remember the one he told me was his favorite. He was in a wife beater at the thing, and he's like really buff. At least he
So
was at the
buff,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still he's even buffer.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I said something about how he was like, you know, he's like he was like a magic Mike of a methadone clinic. I think that was one of them.
That's
But
a
it was
good-
kind of weird because we were getting ready to start, and then all of a sudden his kids showed up
Yeah.
and like went in the front row, and
Fuck yeah.
Steve and I were like, "What the fuck?"
Nah,
like-
say it.
And they told us nothing was off limits. So yeah, we had a lot of fun. There was definitely some like stereotypical like biker joke stuff. I remember I only had one joke that bombed. Like Steven and I both crushed, but I had one joke. I can't really remember what it was, but they had just like one of their buddies had just died. I don't know if it was a member of the club or whatever. And like
Oh yeah.
we
he
used
did.
to like kind of mess with Joe because I don't think Joe was ever in a club or anything, but like his his friends were, not that it's funny, but he was like constantly having a friend pass away, and it was always someone like from the biker community.
Yeah, all our friends keep dying.
And so I made some joke that Steven, I thought this was so funny. I was like, this is great. I'm gonna really take a swing here and see what kind of comic I am. And it was something about like, how do you guys like keep getting more people in when you just die all the time? It was something about that.
That
just
is funny.
Silence.
Oh,
it was the only one that
man.
did not do well.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it was like for me, I was like, okay, it's all right.
It's true.
It was pretty funny.
It's crazy. All the people that
Yeah.
we grew up with, like, yeah, it's crazy. It's but
And
you ride a
we-
motorcycle. It's like
We had very little information to go off of
Yeah.
him.
So
and
it's
like
just
these
too
people.
close on that one.
So
Yeah.
and we were like, I remember we were trying to get our information off Facebook, and so I can't remember how many he has ex-wives or one or maybe multiple. I can't remember, but I really went down the line of like every ex-wife. I was able to find some of them, and like we did some stuff like, and then pretending that I had slept with every one of his ex-wives, like went down the line on all of those, and then went to like his current girlfriend or wife or whatever she was at the time.
Yeah.
No, it was really fun, and they were really good sports about it, and like that's just like a prime example of like, you know, people don't have a problem laughing at themselves, and in my experience, it's pretty rare that you have people who are going to be mad about it.
The most
or, you
secure
know.
are usually the ones that have no problem.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the ones that are insecure. That's what you said. That's what you said something about taking my wife home, and fuck God, it was the funniest fucking thing the whole night. And my wife Beth was like, she's cute. And I was like, fuck, God damn it. You know what I mean? It was so funny, sir.
Yeah, I think I have a very like fuck boy persona.
I love it.
On the stage. So
Yeah.
You're
You're
one
of us. That's why.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah. I am a retired fuck boy. So
where did you go to college for basketball after that?
I went to two different schools. I finished my junior and senior year actually over in Reading at Simpson. It's like a small D2.
That's where one of our charters is.
In Reading?
Our mother charter's from
nice.
Shasta County.
It's hot as fuck.
It is. It's not my favorite place.
I hate Reading.
Yeah,
no
it's
offense.
like
it's the worst.
It's like Sun Valley if it was a whole city.
I remember we would run on the track and our shoes
mountains.
would melt.
Okay, so it was one of
it was fucking, and I was so poor.
Yeah.
So we had like no AC. I lived in this crazy like triplex. This woman on PCP tried to break into our house all the time, like crazy shit. Like I was in the like ghetto of Reading, which was just like Bible Belt or like extreme drug use. It was like there was no
middle
happy
ground.
medium. Yeah. It was wild. I hated it.
It's stupid how I had a boy ride his motorcycle through there and his boots melted on the asphalt at a
fucking
stoplight.
insane. I don't know how people do it. It's
That's
insane.
just crazy. Yeah.
Modesto and like Turlock remind me of that.
It does.
That area.
Less trees.
I'll do a lot of comedy over there too.
Yeah.
There's a fun little club over near Turlock that I'll do sometimes.
Yeah.
But they all remind me of Reading. Like
of
just
all the places
of California.
Totally. Yeah. Of all the places you've traveled, which one's been your favorite? Outside of Reno.
Probably for comedy, probably Montana.
No shit.
Yeah, I had so much fun in Montana. We went through like these like tiny little towns, probably like the size of like Truckee maybe.
Yeah.
Like Libby, Montana. And then I'm just like big into outdoors, so we just camped the whole time and did fun shit. You know? But yeah, we did like Billings, Bozeman.
Yeah.
Which are like big college towns, so it was like fun shows and stuff. But yeah, I had so much fun through those areas.
Yeah.
We did some weird Christian brewery in Idaho. That was the only bad show. That was
Christian
miserable.
brewery.
Yeah. It was so weird.
They're looking to be offended.
It was bizarre.
There's nothing more insufferable than a new
this
Christian.
This was years ago too.
Yeah.
The woman came up to me at the end. She was like 85 probably.
Yeah.
And she gave me a sticker. She gave my friend Andrea like a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
And then she slid this sticker over to me of the brewery, and she was like, "Here to put on your toolbox or something," and walked away. And it was so funny because I was just like, she was just assuming I'm like this butch lesbian. I can't even like put in a light bulb. So that's like the funniest thing of me being gay is like zero skills. It was just some like sticker of their brewery.
Oh, okay.
And it was so funny because the town was so small. It was our only show that wasn't sold out. It was our only show that sucked. And when we got there, we didn't know anything about this. We used to run for this like Booker guy in New York who set everything up. So we didn't know anything about where we were going. And it was a town of like 60 people.
Yeah.
And this guy was like, "It's going to be rough for you guys tonight. You're competing with the Little League championships." And we were like, what the fuck? So I'm in this Christian brewery for
Yeah.
like 7 people.
Okay.
And then the hotel like shut down. It had no power. And it turned out my friend Andrea knew somebody whose grandparents lived in this tiny Idaho town of 60 people. And they were like out of town and gave us their house for the night. So it was wild. The whole thing was wild. But yeah, the Christian brewery was,
Yeah. I get it.
just
We get it a lot. Like,
insufferable.
yeah, they are insufferable.
Yeah, yeah.
Not all Christians, don't get it twisted, but like the people that just became Christians,
Yes.
right? You know who I'm talking
Yes.
about?
Yes.
Like just like 10 minutes ago?
Yes.
They're always the one that are like, you should not have sex, or you should, don't smoke crack anymore. It's
And we
like,
should
I'll
open a
smoke crack on my own
microbrewery.
time.
Yeah,
I hate that.
exactly.
And it's like the old
That's
Christians.
Reading. That's
Yeah,
what's hard
for
about
sure.
Reading is they're hipster Christians.
That's the
They're
worst.
tatted.
But yeah, and the old Christians have been Christians forever. They're
Yeah.
like the coolest. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? They're like, do whatever.
It's the new wave Christians.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Fuck.
They're the hipster Christians.
The guitar
for sure.
band Christians. Yeah.
Yes, dude. And,
Yeah. Which we love. We love you. Just fucking don't tell me what to do.
mhm.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the ones that like will stop us at gas stations
Yeah.
because our club is called Back from Hell,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
not
Do
a
you guys get that a lot?
all the
Do you guys-
time. And it's like really a positive.
Mhm.
Like it's like we're back. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
started
yeah.
with early roots in recovery
Yeah, yeah.
in the 90s.
That's
And
so
it was
cool. I love
like,
that.
we're back from hell. Like we've
Yeah.
come back, and
Yeah.
we're okay. And now that's just the name of our club, and we're outlaw, and it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. But like they'll see it and they're like, oh, like Jesus loves you, and
Mhm.
fucking like cool, like
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah.
Yeah, we talk all the time. You know what I mean?
That's so funny. I
It
love
happens.
that.
You know what I mean?
That's so
But
cool. How big is your guys' club?
we're big enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many is that top secret stuff?
It
Do you
is.
oh, okay.
Yeah. We don't talk
I
about.
don't know anything.
No.
I
It's
don't
just because it's a security thing.
Okay.
Like I'm
Do
insecure
you guys
about.
wear? Oh, I get what you're saying. Do
Yeah.
you guys wear? Do clubs still like wear their patches, or is that like a thing? Do clubs
yeah.
like not wear their patches as much?
Yeah, it just depends on the club. We wear our
Okay.
our rules are if you ride your motorcycle, you wear it.
You have to wear it.
If you're not wearing it, then something happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, we wear it everywhere we go, and it's just it's crazy because there's so much misconception about being in a motorcycle club.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fucking crazy. I don't care if you're a Hell's Angel
Mm-hmm.
or whatever.
Yeah.
It really is just an organization of men who
Mhm.
like riding motorcycles. It's really
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
You have dudes that like might sell drugs,
Uh-huh.
and then they'll like, oh, that whole club sells drugs.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not that.
That makes
You know
sense.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's sober Hell's
Yeah.
Angels that I know, and then there's Hell's
Yeah,
Angels that are
yeah.
nut jobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like my club,
Yeah.
we've got sober guys like me, and
Yeah.
we got different guys. It's totally polared.
Yeah.
It's really no different than
That's cool.
a fraternity. It's like the Odd Fellows or like the Masons, but like
Yeah.
with motorcycles, I guess. You
I
know what
remember
mean?
like meeting because I spent some little of time with my grandpa, and I remember when we went back to Tennessee, and I remember having this idea of him because I knew this like Hell's Angels background from him,
Right.
from all these pictures and stuff, and then when I met him, I was just like, this dude has so many toy cars on his wall, and I remember just being like, the fuck, this
Yeah,
guy?
yeah, yeah.
Like in my mind, I'm like, oh, he's probably a murderer, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Toy car.
I like built this thing up based on.
Yeah.
And I mean, the things that I've heard, and I know he's
Yeah.
not like the greatest dude in the world, and this was a long time ago too, so there was like
Yeah.
rougher shit going on, and the
There
stuff
was,
that my mom
and
told
that's
me.
true too. It also is different than.
Yeah. But I remember also being like this guy's kind of a pussy, like with a lot of stuff where I was like, okay, mom.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. He's not that
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. And then he died of cancer, and I was like, the Hell's Angel died of the funniest thing ever. Okay, I have to tell you this. So he never went to the doctor, right? He like didn't believe in it. And he
died of
was,
cancer,
dude,
yeah.
he was riding a riding lawnmower in the hills of Tennessee, like a fucking hick.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he like they live in like the Smoky Mountains. He, without knowing it, he drove over a black widow's nest
Well,
in like tall grass. They all bit his leg, whatever. Normally he would have been able to fight it. Days go by, he's getting like gangrene looking like. So they finally go to the hospital. It's like the first time the guy's been to a doctor probably in like 20 years. Finally goes to the hospital, and they're like, yeah, we have to amputate your leg. And in that process, they were like, oh, yo, you have colon cancer. Like, this is why you couldn't fight the spider bite infection. And then he died like shortly after that.
fuck.
Yeah, but it was just like my family, like we laugh about it all the time that he died of colon cancer.
Yeah.
When, just
This
like the
big,
things
scary
that
guy.
my mom's like, this guy used to like
Yeah.
beat my brother's ass all the time.
Yeah.
And like, oh yeah, and this is,
That's funny.
I was like, the guy with
So go to the
NASCAR
hospital.
trinkets.
I'm not going to go to the hospital
Yeah.
either. I hate
Yeah,
going to the
yeah.
hospital.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame. I got bit by a black widow, went to my arm ballooned up like 300 pounds, type 5 is what it looked like. I thought I was having an allergic reaction. My mom was at dinner with her friend who was a nurse, and she was like, you should go to the ER. I think you're allergic.
Right.
And they could give a shit. They were
Really?
like, take a Benadryl and go home. I was like, you don't think I need like a Valium for this?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like,
Where's the cool
we
drugs?
should get stuff for
Yeah, you
this.
should
Like
give me
but they
something.
literally didn't even put me. They saw me in a hall and they were like,
Yeah.
take Benadryl and go home. Like they didn't give a shit.
That's funny. And
Yeah.
out by you too, as they got those fucking the brown recluses and red eye. Those are the scary ones. Those are the only ones. That's the
had
only
a-
like rattlesnakes could hurt you, but like black widows aren't going to kill you, right? You know what I
had a
mean? But
snake in my living room the
Yeah.
other day.
fuck yeah,
I don't know. It was just a garter snake.
yeah. Scary.
Yeah.
Sucks.
There's I'll have to send it to you. We had a camera. My dog like tore her ACL, and we had a camera, like a dog camera, to watch her. And the snake incident was caught on camera of me being like, "Oh my fucking god!" Like screaming for. I didn't even know I could scream like that,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
my wife. And she comes out and she's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
We've had a bat twice. There's a hole somewhere in the cabin, is what you can decipher from everything.
So
There's
you're
a
up
hole
close to
somewhere.
Dog Valley.
Oh yeah. Like
Yeah, you're in
where
the
it
cut.
turns into gravel, like the last road on the left, the last like paved road.
Yeah.
I'm up there. I can't even get mail.
Damn, you got to go into town.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
That's such a beautiful area, but you're
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
get you're
no.
gonna get snakes in your living room
fucking insane.
and mountain
Yeah,
lions
yeah.
at the school. Do you remember that? There was like
I've
mountain
heard,
lions
I've
out
heard
at the
that.
school all
yeah,
the time.
Yeah. That's the one thing I've never seen. I've had a bear a lot. We had a bear who was like hanging in our yard quite often. I have a shit ton of deer who like live on our property. But I've yet to ever see a mountain lion. That's
Yeah.
the only thing that I haven't seen so far.
Yeah.
Which hopefully I don't ever.
Yeah,
but
hopefully you
I
don't.
think they're up a little higher.
Well, those black bears.
They'll see you first, right?
Yeah, the black bears
Yeah.
out there are like they'll go away. It's like the brown
Oh yeah,
bears.
they're
that'll
like
fucking,
dumb raccoons, the black bears. Like,
that's
they
what I'm
don't-
told at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have one, and we call him Garth Brooks. He listens to us. Like you can just tell him
To go away.
right away, and he'll. Yeah, I have like a little kiddie pool in the
Yeah.
summer that he gets in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we might be contributing to the problem of him coming around, but
Maybe.
he'll just like lay on our grass. He's cool. He
That's-
doesn't mess with anything.
Those are the only animals that really scare the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Is bears. Because I work on the railroad and I work in
Oh, yeah?
Montana and Idaho and like North.
Yeah,
Idaho.
that shit's scary. I was just
It's-
in Yellowstone.
Right, for sure. Those are big bears.
The grizzly bears are like, they have like, and
Yeah.
I love bears. They're like one of my favorite animals, but the grizzly bears have like, like black eyes. Like they're just
Fuck.
like sunken. It's
Yeah.
fucking, they're scary.
They're
as
just
shit.
killers.
They're so scary.
Yeah,
Even
those
the
are the-
babies are scary.
Those are the ones where like we'll walk and they'll like, hey, you should have a shotgun. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Are you
hey,
guys
we're
out
gonna-
there at night too?
No, it's like in the day, but it's desolation wilderness on the railroad. There's
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
out there. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
200 miles of fucking nothing.
That's
and it's
crazy.
like, hey, there might be bears.
That's
you know
crazy.
what I mean?
I
It's
just
like,
listened to
should
this
we just
podcast.
not do this? You know?
I just listened to this podcast about like people who ride the trains.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the
Oh, you mean like
the
homeless
term
people?
is. Yeah, or just like it was about like some basically like kids in punk bands who
Yeah.
from Oakland who were
From
like
Oakland and
train
San
hopping
Francisco.
and,
and they-
and just like going across the country and stuff, but
Yeah.
crazy shit. And then at the end of it, they were like talking about all the stuff that's like going on with the railroad, with like their funding, and
Yeah.
at the end of it, I was like, we got to save the railroad.
gotta
I got like
save the
I was like, holy shit,
Yeah.
I care so much about.
Yeah, for sure.
I learned
It's-
so much. It was very interesting.
It's
Don't
funny
you
because
say-
Warren Buffett owns most of them.
Really?
Yeah, so they're doing just fine. You know what I mean?
That's so funny.
Yeah, no, they're. It's really just.
That's so funny.
it's infrastructure funding, so it's like
Yeah.
it's whatever the government's spending money on that year. So if it's infrastructure, then railroads are doing fine. They're always going to be here. You know what I mean? But more
Yeah.
people are getting their stuff shipped by semi trucks now and less by railroad.
Yeah.
But there's always going to be.
It's cheaper. So
Railroad
it's
money.
never gonna go away, I guess.
Think of that. Think of who owns the railroads. These are.
I didn't know Warren Buffett
old-
owned the railroad.
he owns-
That's fucking insane.
He owns a lot of Union Pacific and now
Really?
Norfolk. Right, he does. So they're doing okay. But yeah,
That's
it's
crazy. 'Cause
But yeah,
this thing I was listening to was about how they were like, and maybe it's like a state thing too, but they were.
it also depends on the railroad because there's short
Yeah,
line.
there's different ones, right?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
short line railroads, but the ones that you're talking about
Yeah.
are the UPs.
So these ones were
Yeah.
like you have a buddy in the rail on the cart or whatever with you, and they were complaining about like they were talking about the rise in deaths of like hitting people on the railroad. Because like where they used to have 2 people in the car or whatever
Yeah,
with them,
yeah.
now they only have 1 because of these budget cuts and shit like that. No, this was the conspiracy that I listened.
Well, it could be the short line because short lines
Yeah.
only have 1 locomotive.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? And those are ones that are switching, like those are just moving in and out like of Modesto
Yeah.
and those areas. They do have short line
Interesting.
railroads like Modesto and
Interesting.
Empire and those ones, but they always go to the UP,
Okay.
and they have like 7 or 8 locomotive guys.
I'll
But it's
ca-
funny
I'll
to hear.
cancel my railroad
No,
activism
no.
now
You
that
stay
now that
active.
I know that Buffett
Stay
owns
with me.
it.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
I
yeah.
have no reason to
Yeah.
fight for the
No,
railroad
fight
anymore.
for us, dude. No, it's funny that
So you guys like repair it? Is it like
Yeah.
you're out? That's so cool.
yeah, and it's old money, and it's
Yeah.
like hard to get it. Like you have to.
Yeah.
It's hard to start a new railroad company. You have
Is
to.
that a union thing? Are you guys
No.
unionized?
No, we're private. No, and it's a 110-year-old company I work for, and it's like that's that's how it works on the railroad.
Do
These
you
are
have to
old.
travel a lot for
I
work?
do travel. I do. I
Interesting.
get to see some cool places like you.
I should have learned a skill.
I didn't know this skill. I
No?
inherited it.
You did? Okay.
I did from my wife's grandfather.
Yeah,
So I
see,
lucked out. You know what I
I've got
mean?
no skills.
And
I
he
had,
called
I
me
had
and-
biker man
Cool.
skills. So
Yeah, and we'll teach you how to change a fucking light bulb, dog. I got you. You could teach me some stuff.
I'm trying.
You know?
I have an old Forerunner,
There you go.
and I've been swearing for like a
Yeah.
year that I'm gonna change the headlight.
Yeah. Your car's a
I
little
bought it.
cliche, though.
My what?
Your car's a little
My
cliche.
Subaru. It's the all-wheel drive. Okay. It's every time.
course,
I
dude.
know.
Yeah.
Every time.
No, they're great.
I know. It's so
Yeah, yeah.
funny.
That's hilarious. One of the other things I was going to ask you is when you were first starting out,
Mhm.
how'd you know you were funny? What made you want to take that first jump to be like, hey, I'm going to fucking go do stand-up comedy? Because it seems like a big leap.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's like, I think I've said funny things
Yeah.
in life.
It's definitely different. Yeah.
But yeah.
I think I thought I was very like class clowny growing up.
Okay.
I think a mix of like being insecure in like school for certain things like math, things like that I wasn't good at. But I've just like kind of always been that way, like in my friend group, and my parents are really funny, like
yeah.
constantly growing up. It was like In Living Color, like Jim Carrey stuff. My dad was a big like Mike Myers, Jim Carrey fan.
Oh,
So it was like both of my parents are very funny. Everyone's very self-deprecating and funny in that way. So
got it.
I think I like
Was
had
that
an
your
idea.
thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think for me, like stand-up kind of came out of like very darker things that have happened in my life, or like at very sad moments. And sometimes I have a hard time. I think it's probably similar to like art in general, where it's like at my happiest, I'm like, I have no material. I can't write a joke. So like I'll
Totally
have that a lot.
understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. Where so I think I had like a hunch. I had no idea how to write a joke or what joke structure was or anything whatsoever. But I think I just got lucky because it was really good timing too. At the time we had like a really good scene and like supportive scene, and there was I think it's called Shims now, but it used to be 3rd Street Bar.
Yeah.
And we did like that was kind of like our hub for comedy, and there was like
No way.
Wednesday nights over there, and
I
the
didn't
guy
know
who
that.
ran it was like very, very supportive. I had a lot of people who were like very supportive when I was a young comic, so they must have, you know, seen something to where they were giving me opportunities and helping me. So yeah, I think it just I had a friend who was doing open mics, and I went and watched her, and I don't even remember the first time I really did comedy. It's all kind of like a blur. A lot of people like remember it.
You must
I
have done
don't
good
really
because you
remember.
kept going.
Yeah. It's I think too it's hard because it's kind of like delusional when
Right.
you're new, because you're like,
Yeah.
That's why you shouldn't let your friends come or anything. Like you don't need anybody like encouraging you, and then
No,
you're gonna
okay.
think like, oh yeah, I got this, and then
Okay.
you're gonna like, because we used to do this thing at 3rd Street where we had Wednesday nights and you would do 5 minutes, and then the crowd would vote at the end on their favorite comic, and then if you won the following Wednesday, you would come back and you would do 15 minutes, and you would get like a bar tab. And
yeah.
so you had no business doing, a lot of times, no business doing 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So it was a lot of times like newer people who were like very, very, very new, and like their friends were coming out. And so their friends are like cheering for them. And then you're like, because even just having 5 minutes, like a solid 5 minutes, I feel like takes so long to just crush for like 5 minutes, you know? And I think that's like the most important thing when you're
And then
starting
you
out.
can't reuse it at some point, right?
Well, yeah, you can. It's
Yeah.
just I don't know. My beef like now with like new comics and like at open mic, I don't really do a lot of like open mics anymore, but a lot of the new comics I'll tell them like I'll see some people who have been doing mics for like years, very long time. But like none of them like can just crush for X amount of time, you know? And they're always doing something new or they're always which I admire and which I think is great. But if it's not working or you're not like evolving it, it's not going anywhere. It's like I can't those are the kind of people like I can't put you up for give you a 5-minute guest spot and you crush. And that's like
Yeah.
how I was getting stuff. That's why I started at the Pioneer was
Right.
you would only get 4-minute spots.
Yeah.
So it's like you had very little time, you know, at bigger clubs it's like 3 minutes. It's shitty. It's like really hard to
Yeah.
do well in those tiny slots. So it's like
Yeah.
if you can't master that because that mastering that 5, I think you can easily turn into 7.
For sure.
So on and so on. Like a lot of the stuff I do now is like that 5 minutes is still in there from the very beginning. If I record it or put it out, then I'll have to move on from it. I'll be forced to move on from it, and I probably should do that. But yeah, for right now, I mean, just depends the set, like how long I'm doing, what I'm doing. If I need it to be like really tight, then I'm gonna do the stuff that I know is really tight. You know? So it just kind of depends. But yeah, I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was like knowing. Because you don't know. You could be very funny. There's some comics who I love who are like really fucking funny off stage, but I don't really like them on stage.
On stage, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I know that.
There's like a couple comips like that, you know, where I'm like, it's weird. Just like they're so funny. They're so fun when we hang out.
Mhm.
And I see their sets and I'm like,
Damn.
it's a little different.
Yeah. Some of the
You know?
funniest people I know are in are in AA.
Right?
That should be
I also think
interesting,
that that's
you know?
just like kind of an automatic thing. I did a rehab in Auburn.
Okay.
And it was so cool. That was actually like one of my favorite things that I've done. And this guy who was like new to comedy, but he was with the rehab that was putting it on. And so he was doing a couple minutes on the show. And he was super new. And he was just kind of telling these like wild, like kind of like shock jock type, like over the top, very like transphobic, like saying he kept saying the word hermaphrodite. I was like, oh my god, buddy. Like and then after and he did not do well, but then afterwards him and I were talking and he was telling me some of the funniest fucking stories I've ever heard about him running meth like back down from like Bakersfield. And he's telling me the story about him getting stuck in this dumpster. It was like a boys and girls club in Fresno, I think. This boys and girls club like metal bin, you know, like at Walmart where people donate clothes, and he went in thinking he could like steal shit out of it and he got stuck.
Yeah.
And so then like the police had to come and they had to like claws of life him out of this thing, and he got butt ass naked because he thought he was gonna die of like overheating in August. And it was like he was telling me this stuff and it was some of the funniest shit I've ever heard. And I was
funny.
like, dude, that's what why aren't you talking about that?
Yeah. Talk about the insanity.
So and like so many of those people are some of the funniest. Like I don't know, maybe that's just me because that's the kind of
No. That's
comedy that I like. Is that, you know?
It's also a cure.
Kind of stuff. Yeah.
It's also a cure when you can finally laugh about the crazy shit you did as a tweaker, because I was a tweaker.
Yeah.
And I was a 4th Street tweaker. And
you were a tweaker pianist.
I am.
That's so
I didn't play piano while I was tweaking.
How long were you a tweaker for?
So I started doing hard drugs at McQueen.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, I still graduated.
How did that start?
Miraculously. Environment, the kids I was around, kids from your class.
Okay.
It was like a lot of those kids there was a lot of good drugs at McQueen.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And
interesting.
And like I said, I was in the band, and it was all about the kids I was
around. Were the
around.
band kids doing drugs?
Fuck yeah.
That's wild.
It was just
what kind of drugs? When you say tweaking, what were you?
Oh, I smoked crack for the first time at 18.
Really?
Yeah. That I got from a kid that wasn't at McQueen anymore. He graduated.
Interesting.
But I smoked crack but I'm talking about like ecstasy was really big.
Yeah.
At McQueen when I was a kid.
Yeah, I knew like that. Like all
know?
my friends were doing that. My big thing was like pharmaceuticals and opiates.
Yeah, mine too.
Like, you know, spiraled. And,
yeah, I loved it.
But yeah.
Were you doing drugs?
Not
until you were an adult.
Not until like I was in college, and then I mixed with like injury and just kind of like how we would deal with things, I think, as a family, where I was
Totally.
just like, yeah, a huge, huge opiate issue for a really, really, really long time.
Yeah, that's one of my
But I
favorites.
think also I would have really enjoyed uh uppers because I was like a big Adderall kid,
Totally.
and
Yeah.
I still am on Adderall as an adult, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I could see myself just like
Yeah.
being a fun tweaker, I think. Like,
Yeah. No, it
yeah.
was
Like
it's fun. It's fun. It
being
sucks.
very
Or at least you
productive.
think it's fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you think you're really
Yeah.
productive, which is
For
kind of
sure.
interesting. Like opiates would have that effect on me. Like
Yeah.
there are times where, I'm just like pass the fuck out. But I also was like, there is no like I'm
Yeah.
gonna vacuum everything I own at 11 o'clock at night.
love
And
that
it's
shit.
like that would be
Yeah.
my reaction to stuff.
For
or
sure.
I would be like like not even vacuum, like the tube of the vacuum, my floor. Like
God
I'd be like, you just get a
damn.
better it's
Yeah.
better this way.
It is
Where, like,
fuck. Just so productive.
just still
Yeah,
still
yeah,
very
yeah.
like drug addict behavior, just really I would have that a lot
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
and then sometimes I would write jokes and I would be the next day I would look at it, I'd be like, this is the worst fucking thing I've ever read. I
Are you
cannot
talking on
imagine.
Adderall?
No, on opiates.
Oh, okay.
Adderall, no, I was never like
Because I hear people that write on Adderall. Because I wrote a book.
Yeah. Oh,
and,
cool.
And
That's cool. What's your book about?
it's about the railroad, but
Really?
it's also about
Hmm.
like, so my wife's grandfather took the company over, but there was a running joke in the family because of the way we travel.
Mm-hmm.
We're gone for 1-2 days,
Yeah.
and we're home.
Yeah.
But we stay in nice hotels because
Yeah.
it's old money. And the running joke was because we can't articulate to anybody that doesn't work on the railroad what we do.
Yeah.
So everybody just like I was trying to say, and they'll be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" You know what I mean? Like, what do
Yeah.
you do? Like, I work on the
Yeah.
railroad. Like, it's already built. Like, what are you talking? So then the running joke became, you guys are hitmen or something, right? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And like, you guys seem kind of weird,
Mhm.
spy. So I wrote a book about it. I wrote a book about the actual story, and then tied in
That's fun. And then you're like
him being
into
a hitman.
biking and they're like
right. And I took the biker. So
Yeah.
there's a when you read it, if you know who I am,
Mhm.
you don't know what's true and what's not
Yeah.
for the most part. It
Yeah.
blends so many lines.
That's cool.
And it's just I haven't murdered anybody,
Yeah.
but everything else is true.
That's funny.
But that's what
I
it.
like
But
that.
I've talked to a lot of authors who are writing books, and I could only write it through pure boredom.
Yeah.
And like I just watched too
Interesting.
much dirty shit on the internet, and I got bored
Right.
of like I need to do something more productive.
Yeah.
And then finally was like,
I think I have such bad ADD that Adderall
Yeah.
doesn't have that impact. It like actually
actually
works on me,
works.
so it's
yes,
it's
I
like
understand.
hard to have that
Yeah.
effect on me.
And they talk about it, and they're like,
Yeah.
they'll write so much,
Yeah.
and then it sucks the
Yeah.
next day because
I
it's
get that.
terrible.
I was accidentally
Unless you have
taking
ADD.
I was accidentally taking meth Adderall for a minute, and that was like a joke with all of our
Yeah.
friends. And then I accidentally did meth with a stripper at Wild Orchid quite many years ago. I try to talk about it on stage, but people get weird about it.
I know the girl.
Probably.
I'm just kidding.
Her
I'm
name
just
was
kidding.
her name was Dakota. She was
Dakota.
from South Dakota.
Was she?
That's all I remember.
Not a real original name, Dakota.
And then she was like, because like in at the strip clubs, like the restrooms that they use are the same that the women will go in. Like if I'm at a strip club, I'm going in the same restroom as them, right?
Yeah.
And so they'll always be in there like doing stuff, like talking shit, and it's like funny. And I
It is
remember she
funny.
was like in her stall, and she was like saw my friend Jeanette and I, and she was like, "Y'all want to do drugs with me?" And Jeanette was like, "We're good." And I was like, "Well, what kind of drugs do you have?" Well,
That is the right answer.
she was like, "The good kind."
Yeah, cool.
I don't know what that, but we went in. And so we thought we were doing blow off the back of her Samsung Galaxy. And I was
Yes.
like, this is just, that was the thing to me. I was like, this is disgusting.
Dakota
like
sounds neat.
The Samsung Galaxy aspect. We were like past her phone. I was like, this is so gross. Like, not
Yeah.
even that we're in the men's club bathroom.
And it's
doing
not even
blow
an
with her.
iPhone. Like, well, come on.
That's why I
Dakota.
was being
Yeah.
judgy. I was like, we can't text her ever, And then like 8 hours later, we were at like One Up somewhere I would never be seen. And I was like, Jeanette and I were like, I don't think that was blow that we did. I don't think so at all. And so yeah, I've had experiences where I'm like, oh, I could like get buck wild on uppers. I think on stimulants.
Yeah, but back to when
Just
we were
like
in
a
high
lot of
school,
them.
is like they don't really have ecstasy like that anymore. But it was like pressed with a whole bunch of weird shit, and that was like,
It's scary. See, it's scary now.
yeah,
I was lucky, but I think it was part of why it took me so long to get clean is because I had a reliable source, like
Right.
of actually, like I knew exactly like straight from the pharmacy where all the shit was coming from. I had
Yeah.
zero fear
yeah,
about anything ever being pressed. And so that was also kind of a downfall, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, nowadays I'm like, I can't even fucking imagine. Like,
Well, and you also are in a weird place, in a unique place, because a lot of comedians, that's just how they get down, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And it's
and I
like
mean, a lot of times that's how you're getting paid a lot too. It's like
somebody told me
you
that
have
shit. That's
unlimited
crazy.
alcohol, like stuff
Yeah.
like that, where it's hard, you know?
Yeah.
So,
So they have to actually pay you now.
mhm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, we can't accept
So how do
tips
you
anymore.
deal when you're backstage and everybody's partying? It doesn't affect
It
you.
doesn't
Good.
I don't get impacted by like that anymore. I think a lot of that more too, like as I get older, maybe because also just like the physical impacts of me partying just became a lot,
Yeah.
you know, to where it was like, I just don't want to feel like shit. I never like loved drinking. Drinking was more of like uh, what else am I gonna do, or just convenience, you know?
Right.
Drinking was never like my favorite thing ever. So that
It was
was
just the lubrication for the other fun shit.
yeah,
I understand.
100%.
Yeah.
And so I've actually found it. I think for so long I just had such a fear of like um physically getting sober, like detoxing and
Man.
physically getting through that, to where it dragged down and dragged out. And then once I was physically okay, it was like, oh fuck, I'm fine.
Yeah,
Like
you don't
I'm
want to
not
do this
I'm
again.
not gonna do that again.
That's the hardest one.
Yeah, that's literally
Well,
the problem.
tobacco's
Like,
hard.
I
Nicotine's
can-
hard, but like
I was
the
on
withdrawals.
Rockstar Energy drinks for like 7 years one time.
Fuck yeah.
My mom was like, I'm going to submit you for a study. I remember it was like through college. And
Yeah, yeah.
weaning off of that, I was like,
Was that hard?
oh my
Caffeine
God, it
like
was
that?
fucking horrible.
And the headaches, I bet.
Yeah, and I was using opiates at
Yeah,
the time.
yeah.
So it was like, I was like, this is probably harder than that.
For sure. I get
It
what
was
you're saying.
rough.
It is
It was
rough.
rough.
It's rough. And it's the
Yeah.
one that's like, that's a hard one to touch when I get a guy who's coming in looking for help and he's coming off of especially prescription shit.
Mm-hmm.
Depending, like if he was smoking it, which was
Yeah.
my favorite, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
It was like, it's like, man, like that, you might just like, that'll kill you. You might need to go
Right.
somewhere. You know what I mean? Versus any of the
right.
other ones where you
Right.
can just stop and it sucks.
Yeah.
But
So were you like living on 4th Street? Is that the vibe? Were you like
I was-
homeless type
I
tweaking?
was,
How tweaky are we talking?
really tweaky, but
Yeah.
I was still 18 and I still like wasn't terribly bad looking as a
Mhm.
guy, I thought. So I could still, I
Make
was
it work.
I was making it work with 5 different
Yeah,
girlfriends, depending on
that's
whose
so
couch I
funny.
could
Yeah.
fit,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just using people for whatever I could.
Yeah.
Really just
I get
piece of
that.
shit, scummy shit,
Yeah.
and shit I've since
Been there, yeah.
tried to make amends for. You know what I
Right,
mean? And
right.
but it's really that was it. It was just like using people so I could get high one more day, and it was
Yeah.
really like
Yeah. How long were you doing that?
so I was from 12 at Clayton to
Damn, that's
I know I was drinking Baja Blast from Taco Bell up by our house with vodka at McQueen. That was my favorite,
Yeah.
and it was really whatever I could get my hands
Yeah.
on, and it was literally whatever I could get my hands on. And
Yeah.
when I started getting my hands on it on my own is
Mm.
really when my addiction took off.
Yeah.
And so it was like Clayton. I was smoking weed already, and just kind of went on. But I got sober at 21 because I was using so young.
yeah.
But it was
Yeah. That's impressive.
it's really only as impressive as walking out of a burning fucking building. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just
right.
stopped
Yeah.
digging
that-
this crazy hole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think for me a lot of it was I was such a good functioning addict, so it was like I could afford it. I
Yeah.
could like make, even though I wasn't making it work, right?
Yeah.
Like even though I was like burning
and
everything
you weren't
down
stealing
around
from
me.
people, probably.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know?
I wasn't like at that place, you know, where it was that kind of shit, but everything else was so bad and I was, you know, like a terrible partner and I was fucking people over and doing all this crazy shit and
Yeah.
like justifying a lot of my like manic behavior and
Yeah.
craziness.
High
You know?
functioning's harder
Yeah.
to recover from.
Yeah, that's the
because-
issue.
because
is
you're high
I'm
functioning.
high functioning
Yeah.
very well.
And I was
yeah.
walking my
Yeah.
my dog
Mhm.
that wasn't a real, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? So it's a lot different when you're high functioning because it's so much
Yeah.
harder to identify that there's an issue or
Yeah.
a bottom, or people don't see you any different.
Yeah.
Like I don't recognize you any different from when I saw you 7 years ago. You seem
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah, I
So that's
remember
hard.
thinking like, you know, just having that like mentality, like that like kind of judgmental thing where I was like, well, it's never that bad. Like I was seeing this girl who was just kind of like a fling thing.
Yeah.
But I started to like hear some rumblings and think that maybe she was on something a little bit harder than just like some coke here and there.
Yeah.
and I found some shit one night that did not look like coke, and she had asked me to help her go get her car from like Chico one time randomly, and like gave me this spiel of where it was like at some guy's like grow farm and all this shit. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna help her out, and then I'm probably gonna like be done with this because the vibes were just like shifting pretty
Those tweaker
weird.
stories. Those are my favorite.
Yeah, so we like get out to Chico. She's already acting insane and like on the way, and she was very cool. So I think I was present for like the kind of dip into meth, basically,
Fuck yeah.
whatever something that she was on.
Yeah.
And as we're like going out to Chico, she starts like telling me this whole thing about how like people are watching her and all this, and I'm like, what the, like, I'm a drug addict, but this kind of drug addict. Like, what the, like, I got a job and shit, lady. Like, what the fuck are we doing? We get out to this farm in Chico.
Yeah.
There's no car there.
You're bad, but you weren't going to trips to Chico
so
bad?
that was part of the problem for so long, is I was like, yo, I can do this. Like, I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm cool. I'm not like doing this shit.
Right.
And we like get out there was no car. And then she was like, I don't have the keys for the car. And then this guy's like chasing us off as prop with a machete. And she's like, well, this is because of the FBI. And I was like, it took everything in me not to leave this bitch in Chico.
Yeah.
You know?
The paranoia is crazy.
Oh my God. It was like my first experience with that kind of like, you know?
That's what I think what you do is so healing and so important, is being able to, and like you said, at your own expense, being able to laugh at those moments is when you know that you've healed from even the trauma that you've created in your own life. It's like, that's how I know, like when I can laugh about those things, because at first those things were not very funny to me. You know what I mean? It was scary and sad, and I'd lost everything 10 times and had no money and a 400 credit score. You know what I'm saying? And it's fucking miserable and like good parents. Like, so that's the worst. You know what I mean? I got nobody to blame this shit on.
Yeah.
So it's like when you're finally able to do what you provide, which is laugh at this stuff.
Yeah.
God damn, you know you can start to heal from it. And that's why it's such an important part of recovery.
I had a friend say something like that to me because we were talking about some shit that had happened like when I had finally gotten sober.
Yeah.
And I had been trying to do it on stage, but it was like very fresh.
Yeah.
It was like right after it happened. And I was like, I don't know, the crowd, they just kind of turn on me and it's just not very, you know. And he was like, well, I was like, it just seems kind of sad. And he was like, well, I don't think you're like over it yet. Like, I don't think you think it's very funny yet.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you talking about? It's just because that's like how I'm used to dealing with it. And I was like, oh, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm not. Like, and I'm still, that's like one of the things that I haven't tapped into material wise is a lot of the sobriety stuff. And I'm working on it. I want to figure out ways to do it. It's my buddy Sam Miller. He was just here. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's like blowing up.
Is he a local?
No, he's from Washington and been in and out of jail. Huge methamphetamine guy. His material is pretty much about all of this, and he's kind of blowing up because of like the recovery community.
Oh, so he doesn't still smoke meth?
No,
that'd
he's
be
sober
tight,
now.
though,
He's
you know?
sober now, but like his shit is just so wild and so fun, and some of like the horrific shit that he's done, and he's like kind of challenged me to like tap into it, you know, a little bit more. And so I'm trying to figure it out. But we were talking about how like sometimes it's hard because it's like just even like the people who, you know, you've wronged and you've sought out, you know, forgiveness or apology, just any of that. They're not always at the end of the day gonna empathize or even like understand addiction, you know, to where I've had the moments and I've had the things where there's some people who are just like not down to, you know, and maybe they've been impacted by it differently. And I'll struggle with that sometimes where I can just kind of tell. I've had some people where it's just like, sure, that's not into that. That's not funny yet. You know? But then you go like, I had like one of the best times ever performing at that rehab. Yeah. Even with like, oh yeah, it was so fucking fun. It was insane. It was in a classroom at like 6 p.m. with all these lights on. And there was high school students jousting in the room next to us, like in full on like planking and metal.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so funny because we were driving up and it was literally half of the room were like people in a fentanyl program.
Yep.
And then the other half of the room was like just AA people from all over the world. And we were driving up and it was like in the hills in Auburn.
Yeah.
And there's all these signs that I was like, where the fuck are we going? And it was like this community center, like up in the hills. And there's all these signs on the way up that was like, we buy scrap metal. And it was
Fuck
like
yeah.
junk. And I was like, that's fucked up. That's
Yeah.
kind of triggering
Yeah.
that they would do that to those people.
That's so funny.
And like, I try
Yeah.
to talk about it sometimes and people don't. They're just like, not like they don't get it. They don't
Yeah,
think it's
they
that
don't
funny.
get it.
But
The scrap metal
Yeah.
thing's hilarious. That's one of my favorite.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite stories. Is so like I said, I got sober really young, but I was using really young, and
Mhm.
then, I needed drugs one day, and so what I would do every day is I just try to come with $20,
Mhm.
so I get a pack of 27s, Mad Dog,
Mhm.
and a bag.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? Of whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever I could find, whoever I ran into first that day is what I
Right.
was doing that day. And one time they were like, somebody had told me about catalytic converters.
Mhm.
Okay. Right. And I was like, didn't know anything about cars at the time.
Yeah.
And so I was like, fuck, like I need a bag. And none of the girls that I'm talking to are answering their phone. They're all
Yeah,
tired
yeah.
of me. And so I crawled under this car and cut off what I thought was a catalytic converter. And I brought it to the scrap yard, which is on Valley Road.
Yeah.
And brought it to him. And I was like, hey, man, like, how much can I get for this? And he's like, dude, that's a muffler.
That's so funny.
Swear to God, that's a real story. And that
That's
was one that
amazing.
it took me a while to laugh about now because it
That's
also tests
so
my manhood,
funny.
right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah. Oh, that's funny.
I bought him a fucking muffler.
That's
who
really
whacked
funny.
out on withdrawals. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
because you're like, I'm not only a junkie, but I'm
But I'm an idiot.
I'm also a pussy.
And I'm
who
also a
can't-
pussy because I can't tell the difference
That's
between a
so
catalytic converter and a
funny.
muffler.
My wife and I laugh
Yeah.
all the time because she used to drive a Prius and her Cadillac converter got stolen in Oakland. She was at a show. And then a year later, on the anniversary of it getting stolen, this was last year, it was the year anniversary.
Yeah.
She had a show in Oakland and it got stolen again, same day. Yeah.
God damn.
I was like, we got to get you out of that Prius, dog. You can't.
Yeah.
You just can't have one anymore.
She needs a
so
Catalytic
funny.
converter guard or
Dude.
something.
So funny.
That's
That's,
so funny.
really funny that you brought in a muffler.
Yeah, that was so I know the
That's
scrap
funny.
metal life.
And people like that know, like you can tell, right? Like, I mean, they know. They're like,
No, they
Like
know.
you're-
They know by how you walk. and
Yeah,
talk and,
yeah,
like,
they know.
Just fucking
that's so funny.
Yeah, and there was another time where you talked about the paranoia. The paranoia is real. The paranoia gets crazy, but it only gets like that when you smoke meth or
Yeah.
smoke crack.
Yeah.
And it was like one day I walked for 3 days straight.
Yeah.
Like wouldn't go home because I was sure that my parents were waiting at my house remember the show Intervention?
Yeah.
I thought I was on the show. So I was peeking in every single car and I was like, there's
Yeah,
a fucking
yeah.
camera in there.
There's
I
a
know they're
crew.
following me around.
They're coming to
And
get
I wouldn't
me.
go home. And then
Yeah.
I just got so tired from walking
Yeah.
that I finally went home and just went to bed.
Yeah.
And I walked to my parents' house off of Kings Row and was like, it's okay. The camera crew can come out. I'm ready. And I hadn't talked to my parents in months.
We're like worried
And they're
about how
like,
you were
what
dressed.
the fuck are you talking about, dude? Go home. And I hadn't seen them. It's just like,
That's so
it's
funny.
crazy.
That's
It's crazy how
amazing.
fast it
I
happens in
could
the
just
paranoia.
picture some like hearing like your nicest button up. And
Yeah,
you're
I was like, fuck, dude.
I'm ready for my
Let's
TV
get this over
debut.
with.
Yeah.
My dad's like 7:00 in the morning, like going to work. He's like, this is
That's
Tuesday
so
morning, bro. Go
funny.
home.
Your
dude.
parents knew you were using?
They knew at that time. That's why I like wasn't living there.
Right.
You know what I
right.
mean?
How did they
And-
find out?
So my dad's
Initially.
30 years sober,
Okay.
and then got arrested a few times.
hmm
And then one of the stipulations of one of my arrests was on parole was to not do drugs.
Yeah.
And so I told them I was going to a counseling course that they wanted me to go to, and I was going to that fucked up,
Yeah.
which is pretty
Yeah.
unmanageable when you say it
Yeah,
in
yeah.
retrospect. But
Yeah.
I was like, the only way I could do that was to get high first.
yeah.
So
yeah.
I would do that, and then I couldn't, they're drug testing, so you couldn't do drugs really. So that's when my alcohol took off.
Right.
So I knew I was an
Right.
addict alcoholic because I would just trade.
Because you're like
whatever.
anything around it.
anything.
Yeah.
It's like if I can't do
100%.
this, then guess what? I got
yeah.
alcohol.
I would do that too.
Yeah.
Like shit I didn't even like. I would just be like, I guess I'm taking so many muscle relaxers or like
Muscle relaxers are tight.
I remember like our dog had
No, don't
like
tell me that.
like Valium, like
Is it the same?
it's identical. And like
Got you.
Xanax. And I had Xanax.
So dog Valium
Uh,
is the same.
Yeah, it's identical. I remember my mom used to make me like goodie bags of like prescription drugs. Like when I would come home for the weekend and then go back to college, and she would give me like Xanax and all kinds of shit. And I remember seeing the dog Xanax and the dog Valium
Yeah.
and and I'm like they're identical. The pills are identical.
Your mom's neat.
And I remember noting that. I was like, I'm a thinker, and I'm gonna remember this for
I love that.
5 years
I
from
love
now
that.
when I take
That's so
dog value.
Yeah, do you remember Dare? Do you remember Dare?
Yeah.
They did Dare at Clayton one time, and one of the flyers or something is like, hey, like drugs. It was like to give to my parents. It was like, you know, your kid's next high might just be in your medicine cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh shit, what
It
do you got
taught
in the
you.
medicine cabinet? You know what I'm saying? Like
That's
Dare
so
fucking got me
funny.
fucked up, dude.
Yeah,
You know?
I've been trying to think of I have a premise about, I had to take this like insane sexual harassment thing
Oh,
for
shit.
work.
Yeah.
And it was like so long and thorough that it was teaching me, I was like, I didn't even know you could sexually harass this way. Like it was like kind of the same
Yeah,
idea where it
They
was
were
like,
giving you some.
it was teaching you some things where I was like, what?
Yeah, so I'm gonna try that.
There's new avenues to
Yeah.
go down. Yeah. That's funny. That's funny.
Your best show yet? Where's it been? Your favorite, I guess. Let me say that.
My
Your most memorable.
favorite, most memorable show. I had really fun. I can't talk. I had a lot of fun at that rehab. That show was just wild. It was so different, so it was really fun.
Yeah.
And I think I got to like stretch muscles that I'm not, like work stuff out that I'm not normally working out. And I think it gave me an opportunity to talk openly about recovery in a way that is so kind of like foreign to me on stage.
Has recovery found its way into your work now?
A little bit,
Cool.
like slowly. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. But I did that show like probably in the past year, so it's pretty fresh. And then yeah, I did that run through Montana and Idaho. Those shows were really fun. The Ari show was really cool. It wasn't like my favorite set by any means, but some of my favorite sets have just been like weird shit like that recovery room. I did I did a really fun Pride event in Chico at a club that my friends owned. It was a deli/comedy club that has recently shut down.
In
but it was-
Chico?
yeah.
Sick.
Our friends used to like they were like huge stoners, and they used to book us at this bar out in Chico, and they would tell us all the time after the shows, they'd be like, yeah, like you should come get sandwiches out of our van. And we were like, I'm like, we're not getting sandwiches out of their van. We're getting on the road, you know?
Sounds great.
Yeah. But like I had always heard that our friend's husband was like a chef, like a wannabe chef, whatever. And then during COVID, like towards the end, they were like, we're opening our deli comedy club that they would always talk about, you know? And they were just like these stoners.
Gotcha.
Like, we were like, okay, guys. And then they did it, and it was so fucking cool.
If he's got a George Foreman grill, I'd fuck it up in the
and
van,
the sandwiches were amazing.
Yeah,
like,
they were great.
Everything was great.
Potheads, no sandwiches.
Dude, I know.
Yeah.
It was stupid of me to doubt them. I should have invested or something. They ended up closing, but it was a really fun room for a minute, and I felt bad because I had like bragged about it to my wife, and I was like, oh, we got to go back and do the club. Like, we're going to go back during another like gay event, some kind of fundraiser thing. And I was like, best show ever. We went back. The show fucking sucked. It was terrible. We drove through snow and like Lassen trying to get there. And I just felt so bad because I've done that to my wife before. She's done that to me where she'll like hype a show up. We'll be like, oh, it's so fun. It's gonna be so sick. And then it sucks so bad.
So what do you talk about when you do a show when it's like a gay show? You talk about your same set, or do you?
I'll do my same set. I'll probably like do a little bit more. I'll cater it a little bit more to that.
To the community.
Yeah.
Got it.
Just kind of depending on some stuff, but I'll do a lot of crowd work in those kind of things too, because that's like a fun opportunity for us. I already know a lot of like by looking at like
it's okay for
it's
you
like
to
if you see another biker and you're like, this motherfucker, I can look at somebody, I can be like, I already know what this is like. I can't use a pronoun, and I can already look at it and know how this is gonna go, type thing.
Yeah.
So I'll have fun with those. Yeah. A lot of it is like.
So you don't have to change your set much, is what I'm curious.
No.
Because I just didn't know. Like people be offended.
I think it's it's just reading the room too. I mean, if someone's gonna be offended, like fuck it, they're gonna be offended no matter what. Like I think it's just reading the room sometimes, and like my wife and I both did a show the other night in what was it? Pleasanton? Yeah, it was a theater in Pleasanton, California, which it was in a very and it was like this big ass theater. It was cool, but it's a predominantly like wealthy white part of the town. And she had told me I'd done a show there years and years and years ago. And it was, I can't remember what the event was, but it was mostly like a black show. Like I was on it with all black comics with a lot of black audience members. which was wild. And this show was completely the opposite vibe. These
Yeah.
were like very kind of like uptight,
Yeah.
like a very nice theater event.
Yeah.
And so this was last weekend, and she had sometimes her and we like will joke depending on what the vibe is. Like what she loves performing in Reno, because she'll open a lot of times with this thing about boofing ketamine. And we were like kind of like the comics were going before us, and we were kind of like they're a little tight. The
Yeah.
crowd's kind of tight.
Yeah.
And I just looked at her and I was like, "You should open with boofing ketamine."
Yeah.
She was like, "Fuck you."
I
So,
just
like,
got John off of that.
yeah. So, well, like, so like there's moments like that where you may cater your set a little bit where you're
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna, like
Yeah.
there's some stuff that you'll change, but for the most part, I mean, I also think like comics are kind of like who they are
Yeah.
regardless. Like
So
there may
real.
be like one or two things that like maybe I won't say or I won't do or for whatever reason, but for the most part, it's like you're either gonna like me or you're not, probably,
Yeah.
Nothing like that's going to change it. I've had situations. I did Nevada City Pride.
Yeah.
And which was terrible. And it was like right before I was supposed to go on. They wanted me to do like 45 minutes. And they were like, oh, and by the way, you need to be clean. There's going to be kids in the audience. And there was no AC. And this was in like August.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know who like gave you me for
Yeah.
this booking,
not gonna
but
happen.
like, yeah, you got me fucked up. You should apologize ahead of time or like have the kids leave
Yeah.
the theater.
Yeah.
They didn't. They stayed. So, I'll do my best.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many like children are at comedy events.
No,
so
for sure.
I'll do my best, but
Yeah.
for the most part, I won't.
I don't
won't
think you
change
should.
anything.
I don't think you should change a set depending on who you're talking to for sure.
Yeah.
You know
I'll
what I mean?
cater it where I am. Sometimes I'll try to like figure something out about the town too ahead of time.
Yeah.
I'll change words. Like I have a joke where I refer to like locally for the most part, I'll just refer to somewhere like Truckee or like Colfax, somewhere like
Yeah.
close for this part of this joke. So wherever I am, I will find out what's like kind of the close little town that they like shit on.
Yeah.
Kinda. And
Oh,
I'll,
that's
like,
great.
Like
I
we were
love
in
that shit.
Pleasanton and
So,
I was like,
yeah.
oh, Livermore, they hate
Yeah.
Livermore next door. Everyone
sure.
talks shit about it. So
Yeah.
I'll like plug
Yeah.
that in. Or like I'll do Nevada City a lot and I'll talk shit about Colfax. And
So,
I did
like-
that when I was in Auburn. I'll like I'll make it very
Yeah.
specific, or I'll try to find something out about the city that I'm in.
For sure.
And a lot of comics will do that, So I'll do that kind of stuff. I'll try
That's
to
great.
figure something out so that I can make it like personable.
Oh, they'll love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Redding can talk shit about like
Oh, yeah.
Shingletown or something. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll try to cater to it that way also,
for sure.
which I think could be fun.
No,
So.
that's rad.
Yeah.
Do you got any shows coming up here in Reno
Yeah. When does this come out? When would this
tomorrow?
tomorrow? Yeah, we actually have a show this Friday then, the 10th. We have a Don't Tell show. You can go to don'ttell.com or
And see where it's at.
You'll find out where it's at the
day of.
morning of.
Cool,
yeah,
cool, cool.
Yeah. But it'll tell you, like, this one on Friday is indoors. It's at a place that serves food and alcohol, and it's in Midtown. It's Midtown/downtown.
Cool.
It's kind of over by the old Century movie theater. And then we have a Halloween show on the 24th at a really cool place that's outside BYOB. Yeah, I've got a bunch of shows coming up, so just
Stay
probably
in
just
touch.
follow me on Instagram.
And
Would probably
it's-
be the
How do you?
best way to see that.
It's Sara.Rooker.
I think it's just my first and last name all together. Sara Rooker.
Okay, sounds good.
Pretty easy.
So follow Sarah.
Yeah.
I really love having you on, Sarah.
Dude,
We would
this
like
was
to have you
so-
back.
yeah,
And
fuck
I
yeah,
got
this
a
was so
special
cool.
place in my heart for other
Yeah,
McQueen
yeah.
kids. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
And
So-
Clayton kids.
And
Clayton
Elm
Cubs.
Crest kids.
And Elmcrest Dragons.
The Dragons, dude.
Which is insane, but
yep.
that's
Yeah.
so funny.
I remember being on trucks, walking past my old elementary school, just being so sad about myself, dude. You know what I
Right?
mean?
Ugh, that's so funny.
It is, yeah.
I remember we used to sit in like 6th grade. We would get on the roof of Elmcrest. And
Okay.
do you ever see the movie Idle Hands? I don't know why, but he like he's selling people oregano. And for some reason, like in 6th grade brain, we were like, oh, it's the same. It's going to be the same as smoking weed.
Same
And we
thing.
would like just roll notebook paper filled with oregano, and we would climb the fence and sit on the roof of Elmcrest,
Right.
just smoking oregano.
Yep.
And just like hurting my head,
Yep.
smoking notebook paper. And
Fuck yeah, I did
Sometimes
that.
I see Elmcrest, I'm like,
Yeah. I lived over off of 6th and McDonald. That's where I was at.
okay.
Right
yeah,
down the street.
I grew up, I lived off of Kings Row, like right by Clayton for a long time.
Yeah.
That's the
Wild,
neighborhood.
small world, man.
It's crazy.
Probably got
Well,
a
that's
lot of-
there's
a lot
some
of
kind
mutual
of
friends.
there's something in the water up there because either kids are perfect or they become drug addicts. You know what I mean?
There is.
So
There
you
is
know.
something in the water
yeah,
at McQueen.
that's
Wild.
what it is. Sarah, thanks so much for
Yeah,
being
dude.
here.
Thanks for having me. This
We'll
was
see
so
you
cool.
soon. All right.
Hell yeah.
All right. Thanks. See you.